Did West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin really just sit down in front of a room full of power-hungry global elites and trash our free press?
The problem that we have is the open press system and basically all the platforms.
Our open press is a problem. Problem for who? Now, Joe is sitting in front of a large group of global elites who have an agenda they would love to push, an agenda that helps them achieve more power, more wealth, more control. For them, the open press is indeed a problem. But Joe, you represent we the people. And for we the people, the open press is absolutely essential. Now, that was Joe recently speaking at Davos 2023. Davos is an event held every year in Davos, Switzerland by the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, if you're not familiar with them, is a very powerful lobbying group for the global elite. They have a famous catchphrase, which you may have heard: "You will own nothing and be happy." Now, I don't want to be too hard on Joe Manchin. I'm actually pretty neutral on him. He may be one of the few salvageable politicians out there. That being said, when you spend your time swimming in the swamp, your eyes are bound to get covered in muck. And I don't think he's seeing this one clearly. When I heard that Joe went on Fox Business to walk that statement back, I was pretty relieved until I saw the clip.
That was Senator Joe Manchin yesterday here in Davos on the stage. He got a lot of heat for it about that panel discussion on the internet. I sat down with the senator earlier and he clarified.
I totally apologize because I didn't explain it properly. That was a problem. The open press that we have, which is absolutely the bedrock for democracy, okay? But there's so much access.
He said it incorrectly. Our open press, which is a bedrock of our democracy, is not the problem. It's the access that's the problem. Joe, access is what makes it an open press. You restrict access, it's no longer open. State-run media is restricted access to the press. So your walk back to me sounds like a complete double down. Now, this last part of the video may seem like I'm splitting hairs, but what I've noticed over the past few years is this insidious reshaping of our perception as a society, okay? For instance, sometimes it's subtle. You know, we used to use the word equality. Now, in the mainstream media, we only use the word equity. It's gradual, but you can see this transition. They mean very different things, and it's not unintentional. Now, I'm not going to talk about that one right now because that's for another video, but I want to talk about saving our democracy, protecting our democracy. Joe Manchin mentions that the free press is a bedrock of our democracy, or an open press is the bedrock of our democracy. What makes this country unique and special is not that it's a democracy. They want you to focus on this country as a democracy. But what makes this country unique and special is that it's a constitutional republic. That's what they want you to forget. Why? Because they can control a democracy. A democracy is simply, majority rule. In a democracy, you can vote to remove someone's individual human rights, theoretically. And since they are so good at shaping public perception and manipulating the minds of the masses, democracy is not a problem. It's not an obstacle for them to achieve their agenda, which gives them more wealth, power, and control. However, one thing that does get in their way is individual liberties. And so what they want you to forget is that the founding principle of this country is individual liberties. We are a constitutional republic with a Bill of Rights. That's what makes us special. So when you hear them talk about protecting our democracy or saving our democracy, make that correction in your head. And eventually, over time, maybe make it out loud, right? We are not primarily a democracy. We are a constitutional republic that protects its citizens' individual liberties. That's what makes us special. Joe, you represent we the people. Don't forget that. And I'll wrap up there. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We're just getting started here. We're just warming up, all right? Be the light that wrecks the shadows. Go out, share these stories. Let me know what else you'd like me to cover. See you soon.